Tom, where to begin today? I think I want to begin first with the procedural question. Who can bring back the House? Is it the GG or is it the Speaker?
Well, it's the Speaker. But the Governor-General does have an overriding authority if there is a Parliament that's not functioning or there's nothing there. You do have the institution of the Governor-General because she is our head of state. Trudeau is our head of government. I'll give you a concrete example. I was in Toronto recently with Jean Chrétien and Stephen Harper for an evening discussion around what they were calling a fireside chat. Harper and I, we were talking on the stage about because the three of us had been to Nelson Mandela's funeral, and Mr. Harper said something quite interesting. He said, I explained to David Johnston, who was then the Governor-General, that he was staying home, and I was going because he says, he outranks me. So that was a simple admission of a constitutional fact that not a lot of people think about, is that the Governor-General is one notch above the Prime Minister. So technically, it is theoretically possible for all the parties to petition the Governor-General and say, bring Parliament, except the Liberals, of course, bring Parliament back because there's no functioning government and we've lost confidence. Is it going to happen? No, not in a million years because, well, first of all, Mary Simon was named by Justin Trudeau. She's not about to do that. Second of all, it would just be such a constitutional kerfuffle, it would get nowhere. But here's the real thing that Poilievre was after, and it came about halfway through his press conference when he talked about it. He said, I'm going to write to Yves-François Blanchet and Jagmeet Singh and ask them both to also send a letter saying, we've lost confidence in this government. Now, if I were an advisor to Blanchet, the Bloc leader, I would say, send that letter, absolutely, even if you look like you're listening to Poilievre, doesn't matter. He's already on the public record as saying that he doesn't have confidence in the government, and that would just add to it, because that would put the spotlights clearly on Jagmeet Singh. So I've done a bunch of French and English media today, and even during the scrums in front of the Rideau Hall before. Journalists were using the following shorthand, talking about Singh's letter that came out at 11 today. They say, Mr. Singh has said he's going to vote no confidence at the earliest possible occasion. Actually, that's not what he says. What he says is he's going to vote no confidence. He's going to present a non-confidence motion sometime during the spring session, which goes until June 2025. And he doesn't make it clear that if the Bloc or the Conservatives have a non-confidence motion, that he's going to absolutely vote for it every time. So it's a really good skill that the NDP deployed today. First of all, they got into a story where they really they didn't have any place. They got in at 11 o'clock, half an hour before the shuffle, and everybody's paying attention to their letter for a little while. And it was actually interesting because almost nobody read the details of the letter. They're saying, Singh is saying he's going to vote against the government. But you have to read the details of the letter to realize that there was a little bit of sleight of hand involved, and it wasn't at all as clear as that. So the idea of at least getting the three opposition parties together to all petition the Governor-General to say, bring Parliament back, constitutionally, theoretically possible, absolutely not likely, 0% chance of it happening, but a good political score by the Conservatives, by Poilievre, back against Singh. And by the way, they're going after Singh because they want the NDP's votes.
So in terms of timeline, are you thinking this could go the distance? I mean, this government could last into the summer even or beyond? Or are you more accepting that perhaps a transition is already underway, as reported in the Globe and Mail, and maybe we'd be looking at mid-January to start that transition?
Start that transition, yes, and that will come in the form of a prorogation. So that's a funny word we don't hear all the time, but that's what Stephen Harper did twice, once for just under 2 months over the issue of the NDP and the Liberals under Stéphane Dion trying to bring him down because he had a minority government. And then he did it again around the Afghan detainees and their bad treatment by the Canadian forces. So, and that was for over 2 months. So Trudeau doesn't have to waste any of that time by proroguing now. He can easily wait till second, third week of January and then say, okay, my party needs 2.5 months like Harper got. And he can basically suspend Parliament. It gets very tricky around the date of the budgets, but there are ways around that. But there'll be tons of fodder for constitutional experts and nerds. But what the essence of it is, the Liberals are going to have to prorogue, have a shortened leadership. They're supposed to have 100 days. They're never going to do that. So they're going to have a very shortened leadership race. The party instances have the ability to consult with caucus, come up with a temporary leader if they need. I'm not sure that that's going to be necessary because if Trudeau sticks around until his replacement is chosen, then it's clean. Otherwise, he could look to his good friend and former babysitter, Dominic LeBlanc, say, "Hey, you become the prime minister for a few months, and then whoever it is who wins that leadership race will take over." It's messy, and it comes at the worst possible time. We've got Donald Trump threatening Canada with 25% tariffs. We need a functioning government now, but we're not going to have one for a while.
So this is going to be tough for us all. Is the bubble so tight over Ottawa that they are unaware of how everyone, including the business community, is just on red alert right now and scared for an imminent recession? Is this not the dollar below 70? And nothing.
Extremely well said, Dan. And that's exactly it. This is the Ottawa bubble looking at itself. This is total inside baseball. The average Canadian has been through a ton of recessions since the end of the pandemic. Groceries are so expensive. People are just having trouble getting by. And their reaction is, why didn't Trudeau get the message like a year ago when the polls were already showing that he was going to get crushed? And, he could have, last February 29th was the 40th anniversary of his dad's walk in the snow. He could have just picked, a lot of people said, oh, maybe he's going to do the same thing. I bet you he wishes he did. Because the situation now is utter chaos. So he's going to be replaced. Going to be messy because he has to be replaced by a process if he refuses to simply leave on his own right now. I do think he's going to announce that he's not sticking around, but it's going to be political and constitutional chaos. Fun for people like me who are in their livings to look at this stuff and get and comment. But as you so correctly say, Dan, a lot of fun for the average Canadian who's saying, what is going on? Solid government under threat from Trump, and we need to stand up and be clear. By the way, Poilievre's Trump, very clear. Still got to be a little bit by his advisors to stop being so smarmy and smarty pants at the beginning, because he always gets in a shot or two as if he was a 14-year-old in the schoolyard. But if he can remain mostly statesmanlike, I think he might be able to turn those poll numbers into a victory.
All right. We have to let you go. You're breaking up a little bit, Mr. Mulcair, but I want to wish you all the best to you and yours for the holiday season.
All the best to you, too, and to your family. Chag Sameach.
Thanks very much. Merry Christmas, and enjoy that beautiful Laurentians holiday season.
Take good care.